Chapter 2. Yunzhong City is located in the center of the 5 major sects. This kind of place is no less than the foot of the ancient imperial city. Anyone you meet at random may be a disciple of the major sect, and things are ridiculously expensive. Boss, how much is a steamed stuffed bun? She swallowed her saliva, and after smelling the fragrance, she asked out loudly. Only after the foundation was built can Bigu be built, and the original body has only practiced Qi for the 3rd level, and there is still a long time before Bigu. 3 middle-grade spirit stones. Yi Qiao quickly calmed down. Excuse me. There are only 100 yuan of middle-grade spirit stones in the mustard bag. Not only do you have to eat, but you have to stay in an inn. In this ridiculously expensive Yunzhong city, it will probably be spent within 3 days. Yi Qiao finally understood why the original owner refused to go down the mountain even though he was in such a miserable situation. After going down the mountain, ordinary people really can't afford to live these days. The most lucrative occupations in the cultivation world are Fushu and Danshu. The Yuqing sect can rank among the top 5 sects. Apart from the fact that they have many Fushu, what makes people envious is their strong financial resources. Yi Qiao grabbed a casual cultivator casually, and asked if there was any place to buy Langhao pen and talisman paper. It's in the shop. The other party was very enthusiastic. Are you Fushu? Fushu and Danshu have a high status in the cultivation world. Yi Qiao shook her head. No. The original owner was a swordsman, and Yi Qiao had never drawn a talisman. But it is not advisable to sit and eat empty mountains. You must try. She is a real migrant worker in modern times, not only designing, but also part-time modeling, but she still cannot escape the fate of working in the realm of comprehension. Thanks to her profession, Yi Qiao has the ability of photographic memory, and this body seems to have inherited this. Simply closing her eyes and recalling, the method of drawing Yuqing Zongfu's talisman is clearly remembered in her mind. Because it was the first time she was learning to draw talismans, she could only rely on her feelings, and according to the talisman book, hold her breath and concentrate, and tentatively transfer the spiritual power into the Langhao brush. As soon as the pen tip touched the spirit paper, there was a slight tingling pain from his consciousness. Yi Qiao regained his composure and vaguely understood that this was the first step to draw a talisman. Yi Qiao recalled the appearance of the talisman repairers in the original owner's memory. Without hesitation, the complicated talisman pattern appeared on the paper. With the completion of the outline, the movements of her hand became faster and faster until the last stroke fell. The spirit paper shone golden along the lines. Yi Qiao couldn't help holding her breath, and stared at it for a few seconds. As long as it doesn't burn, it's a good painting. Is drawing characters so easy? As soon as this thought sounded, she felt something flow down her nose the next second. She lowered her head and touched the blood on her hand. Yi Qiao. Well, she was worrying too much. Sure enough, drawing symbols is not something ordinary people can do. Because she didn't feel any physical discomfort, and thinking of the penniless mustard bag, she simply continued to walk on the talisman paper with the magic pen. After finishing 7 paintings, she couldn't hold on any longer and fell down on the table and passed out. This is the sequelae of overdrafted consciousness. Yi Qiao fainted after finishing the painting, and when she woke up, she gritted her teeth and continued to paint. Her diligent appearance made her burst into tears. Is it love? Is it the responsibility? Neither. Is poor. It is not without reason that poverty makes people progress. Yi Qiao drew some lowest-level talismans, the wind talisman and the sleeping talisman. She pinched it with her fingertips, tentatively sticking the Gale talisman on her body. It is said that it can make people run very fast. After Yi Qiao put it on, she felt it, and it seemed that there was nothing special. She waited for a while, and when she saw that there was still no movement, she realized that it might have failed. She was not disappointed either. After all, in the memory of the original owner, even the few direct disciples of Yue Kingzong couldn't succeed the first time. Failure is normal. Yi Qiao was just about to tear off the Gale talisman and redraw it, but the next second her steps became uncontrollable, and she flew out like an arrow that left the string. She couldn't stop her legs at all, and she went on a rampage, hitting the wall of the inn in a herringbone shape. Yi Qiao. The monk's health is more than a star and a half better than ordinary people. Even if he hit a hole in the wall, he didn't feel any pain. Yi Qiao struggled to get up from the ground after a while, and looked at the Gale talisman that fell on the ground and failed. Disrespect, disrespect, is this Fushu? In the end, under the glaring gaze of the innkeeper, Yi Qiao tearfully paid 20 yuan of lingxi to repair the wall. After the sun went down, Yi Qiao took a few drawn talismans and went to the black market to resell them. This is the largest black market in the cultivation world. There are many people who come to this place to trade, and the price varies. She set a price of 10 middle-grade spirit stones for one talisman. It is not expensive, and it can even be called cheap. But her cultivation base was too low, and the monks passing by didn't even bother to look at her. Yi Qiao waited anxiously at the stall for a long time, and found that even the pawnbook seller next door had more business than her. She continued to be patient, and prepared to close the stall if no one patronized, so she changed her career to buy pornographic books. Perhaps God felt sorry for her, and before anyone came to patronize her, a young boy fell from the sky and landed on her stall. The young man in red stepped on the sword, landed lightly, and stepped on the collapsed stall of Yi Qiao, but he didn't know it, and warned in a cold voice, "It is forbidden to draw the sword under the feet of Wu Dazong." The man who was warned originally wanted to argue with this person, but when he caught a glimpse of the dark pattern on the young man's robe, which was exclusive to his own disciples, he was slightly startled, turned his head and ran away decisively. Well, a world where only Yi Qiao was injured has been achieved. "Fellow Taoist, please move your feet," she said sincerely. "You stepped on my foot." If it wasn't because she couldn't beat him, Yi Qiao would have wished to turn into Master Ma and grab him by the shoulder and growl, "Do you fucking know how difficult it is for me to set up a stall?" The young man was taken aback for a moment, and then he noticed that he seemed to have stepped on something just now. He quickly moved his foot away, saw the collapsed stall, and hurriedly said, "I'm sorry. Didn't hurt you?" "No," she spoke righteously, "but your behavior has seriously traumatized my soul." The boy didn't expect her to be so fragile. Looking at Yi Qiao's serious appearance, he couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. "Then can I give you some spirit stones as compensation? Is a high-grade spirit stone enough?" Yi Qiao happily accepted his compensation, bent down and picked up the scattered talismans on the ground. "I forgive you. A top-grade spirit stone is worth 100 yuan for a mid-grade spirit stone. This is a rich man," she sighed in her heart. Mu Chongxi hurriedly followed her to pick it up, and he couldn't help being surprised when he saw a small stack of talisman papers, a Yue talisman. Yi Qiao hummed vaguely. After she picked up the talisman, she found that there were a lot of casual cultivators who came to watch the play, and there were people talking unabashedly in her ears. "Look at the costumes. Are they the direct disciples of the Changming sect? It should be. To be able to control the sword, the cultivation base should be at least above the foundation establishment, and there should be no one else except for those few personal heirs." More and more people joined in the fun, and the talisman in Yi Qiao's hand was also noticed by some casual cultivators. The robes of Mu Chongxi's personal disciples were too conspicuous, and Yi Qiao, who was standing next to him, was naturally regarded by passers-by as a disciple of the great sect. With some natural trust in Da Zongmen, Sanshu stepped forward and asked, "Little sister, what kind of talisman do you have here?" Sleeping Talisman, and Gale Talisman. They are all low-level talismans, but they're still very useful for casual cultivators. After all, they do not have the protection of sects and have traveled all over the world for many years. There is no harm in carrying a few extra talismans with them. It's just that a talisman from a regular channel is extremely expensive, and some cheap talismans are easy to be cheated by profiteers by copying them. Yi Qiao got Mu Chongshi's favor, and the talisman in her hand was snatched within a few minutes. Empty. This also made her more determined to apply for a sect. You just left. After Yi Qiao put away the lingxi, she was about to take back the booth and go back to the inn. When she heard Mu Chongshi's words, she couldn't help but feel puzzled. Otherwise, Mu Chongshi was dumbfounded. Don't you need my compensation? Yi Qiao, didn't you lose a spirit stone? Mu Chongshi, but your heart is hurt. Yi Qiao, where did the silly Baitian come from? Or are the direct disciples of the Changming sect all idiots for nothing? Did he really mean what she said casually? Yi Qiao asked, what's your name? Generally speaking, good-looking people definitely deserve to have a name in the novel. She was very curious about what identity this silly Baitian would play in the novel about immortal cultivation. Mu Chongshi. Yi Qiao was slightly taken aback. Don't tell me, she has really heard of this name. Isn't the kind of resentment in the novel who destroys his heart for the heroine called Mu Chongshi? Her expression became complicated. From looking at the fool at the beginning, it turned into pity. The boy opened his eyes slightly. What do you mean? Yi Qiao also realized that the pity in her eyes was too obvious, so she coughed twice to cover up, not wanting to think about the plots of these unnutritious novels. I heard from them that you are a direct disciple of the Changming sect, so can you tell me how you are treated as disciples of the Changming sect's outer sect? Now she prefers to find a sect to hang out with. Changmingzong. When mentioning his own sect, Mu Chongshi's expression was slightly complicated, and he looked at Shang Yichao's thirsty gaze, and told the truth, our sect is very poor. When I first joined the sect at the age of 10, every day eat steamed buns. He is also the young master who is loved by thousands of people at home. Mu Chongshi must be dissatisfied when he suddenly came to such a poor sect. At that time, I felt that I had been deceived, and privately called the second senior brother and the third senior brother to prepare to escape from the Changming sect together. It was later seen by the suzerain. He kept chasing us and we lost one of our shoes while we were running. Yi Qiao, may I ask what are the names of your second and third senior brothers? Zhu Yu, Ming Xuan. Yi Qiao was silent for a moment. Pretty good. The dog-licking male supporting role and the spare tire supporting male supporting role in the novel are all gathered. What's more, what Mu Chongshi said was so sincere that Yi Qiao had already figured it out. The Mu Chongshi, I can't do without you. How to live. The imagery was too strong. Yi Qiao completely gave up the idea of going to the Changming sect. What about the Janjian sect? Can they sleep and eat? The number one sect in the world, the treatment of disciples should be good, right? After Yi Qiao saw the astonishing price of goods in Yunzhong City, now she just wants to find a sect and act as an unremarkable outer disciple, so that she can hold onto it. Chevron _ left previous home index next chevron. Tap the script.